You are now tuned in to the network, the YouTube channel that takes complex networking topics and attempts to dumb them down to a more simpler language, more layman's terms. Today we're going to be covering configure and verify logging, specifically section 6.3a, local logging. This is a topic in the CCNP route exam. It'll be known as CCNP Enterprise exam come February 24th, 2020. Let's go ahead and take a look at the exam blueprint, see where we came from, where we're headed. Hashtag labeveryday. Go ahead and visit labeveryday.com. Also, shout out to gns3volt.com. That's where most of these labs came from. And also check out networklessons.com. Before we move on, y'all go ahead and hit that subscribe button. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, please hit that like button. Hit me with the likes, man, so that way I can get some more people to, take a look at my journey, so that way they can come along on this journey. We just wrapped up the section CCNP version 3, which was section 6.2b. Today we're going to do configure and verify logging, specifically local logging. I think I'm going to do these other topics in separate videos as well. I know I want to lump it all up in one video, but like I said, I don't want to have y'all sitting in front of YouTube all day. Y'all need some time to read and lab and do some hands-on and stuff like that. After that, once we wrap these videos up, we'll move on to timestamps. Yep, we may just do that a whole separate section as well, even though that's just a service. So what is logging? Logging is exactly what it sounds like. Well, I guess not, because you could be logging with trees and stuff, right? Well, logging is, so let's say, you got some devices and stuff in the network. Anytime that something happens, we said that we would give you CCNP alerts, right? Well, we also have logs, messages, and I'm pretty sure if you've been, studying for your CCNP or CCNA even, once you're logged into CLI, you get messages, right, with the date and timestamp saying, hey, this happened, or hey, this happened, or hey, you made this change, whatever, right? Those are the logs, right? Now, there's ways we can manipulate on how these logs are given to you, and that's what this section is pretty much about. So let's go ahead and take a look at the official definition of logging. All right, logging. Many network administrators overlook the importance of, let's talk about all that. We know that. We know what we can do. This logging can use for the fault notifications, security auditing, and network forensics. Administrators and users use different management interfaces to the ACS to do different tasks. Basically, logging it tracks the events and actions that happens on your device. It could be a server, it could be a router, it could be a firewall, printer, whatever, right? We have messages. So it's kind of like CCNP. The only difference is it's just messages that's given to you in front of your screen. You can take those messages and dump them into a server somewhere. But that is another topic that we're going to do. Well, it's pretty much the same section, but we're going to put that in a separate video. So you look at this topology right here at the bottom. Actually, we got a bigger one right here. We got these network devices, right? This is our network right here, right? Anytime something happens, let's say somebody tried to log into this firewall, boom, and they put the wrong password, right? We are going to get a syslog message. Now, we can put the syslog message, you'll see them on the console of your screen. When you're on the terminal, your console onto your router, for example, right? You'll get the authentication failure on your router, on your screen, and you'll see that, right? Depending on how, you leave the threshold. Or you could take these messages and dump them off to a server, because it could be so many. You could log every single transaction. You could say, I want all the way down to, anytime traffic hits this router, I want a message. You could but you could hog up the CPU. That's why you got to be kind of careful on what you want to log. It's just like the security guard sitting at a booth. He might not log, oh yeah, a dog, walk by the gate. He might not log, oh, there goes a jogger. He might not, but he may log like, okay, somebody just ran the gate and I took down the tag. He might log important things. Insignificant things he might not log. And we can do that with syslog messages, right? So again, we can dump them all. We can keep all these messages locally on our device, or we can dump these messages onto a server in case there's just too much. And it's a better way to manage it. Plus, these syslog applications can give you all these colorful graphs and stuff like that. And then you could also have these messages sent to you as an administrator, right? You like, soon as somebody, like, let's say the router blew up, for example. Let's say the router blew up. I don't know. You'll get a message, right? It'll get sent to the syslog server. You can set that up, and you can have those messages sent to your email, or to your phone or something like that. And while you're out on the road, out in the field, working on something, boom, you'll get a message saying, the network is down. And before you get a call from the director, the IT director, or people back at the site, you'll know about it immediately. Like, hey, You know, hey network, bro, the firewall went down and now we're getting, you know, this DDoS attack. You already know about it and you're just like, damn, what I gotta do? Okay, well, I'm on it right away. Anyway, so local logging again is when you keep the syslog messages locally to your device. By default, it's displayed on the console. As soon as something happens, boom, you'll get the message on your screen, right? You can turn it off by doing no logging. That's probably not advisable, but you can do that. You can turn it back on by just doing logging console and then choose what level you want to console. And we'll talk about what the levels are in the next couple slides. And then you can also specify the settings for the current SSH telnet setting with this command, terminal monitor. You can also choose how much of your logs you want to save locally to your device. And if you get, you know, past a specific threshold, you can dump them off to an external server. But that again is syslog. We are concerned with local logging. Logs we keep locally on our device in front of us, right? Well, not in front of us, but just locally on our device. So for local logging, syslog, it can save syslog messages to the internal buffer, and then you can display these messages by the show logging. So I do that all day at work. Again, I told you I work at a knock. Show log, I have that in brain. I do that, like I'll do that in my sleep. We literally do that every time. You do show log, we see what happened with the device, why it went down, you know, whatever. You can choose how much of your logs, because otherwise you'll be space barring all day. You don't want that, right? So you can keep a certain amount. You can say, let's just say 5 messages, but you can choose the size of the logs. Now, syslog, again, this is for external. We're going to worry about this. Actually, we'll break these down, right? So when you get a syslog message, boom, right? You've seen it before. They're broken down just like this. You know, we have facility, then we have the sub-facility. Sometimes it's together. Then you have dash with severity. We'll talk about those. Severity are the levels, right? Then the mnemonic, which was basically like a shortcut of what happened. And then a message check, which is message text, which is like a full, more, you know, English terms or like more layman's terms of what happened. That way, because some of this stuff could be cryptic, but this is like in plain text right here. So here is more of a breakdown of the syslog message. Facility, sub-facility reports the protocol, module, or process that generated a message. Like let's say if it's OSPF or something like that, you'll see OSPF right here, like link down or something like that, right? You'll see that, the facility and then the sub-facility, right? Severity, we have 8 levels, right? But they're categorized from 0 through 7. Without breaking all of this down, you can pause and freeze frame if you want to, but level 0, if you see a level 0 on your screen, sound the alarms because something just happened, right? Ring the alarm, but now the sound is dying. Whoa, yeah. That's y'all pop quiz for today for all my island heads. What song is that and who sang it? That's y'all pop quiz for today. Anyway, so 0 is the system is unstable. This could be like, you know, a DDoS attack or something like that, or something, you know, your router just blew up. Then you got, you know, level 1, level 2, level 3, and the least significant amount. This is kind of like the dog that just walked by, or, you know, we got a dragonfly that flew by the security booth. That will be a level 7 or level 6, informational. And then we have debugging level messages with level 7, right? Now, that is the severity, right? Sometimes they call it levels, sometimes they call it severity, but the official name for Cisco's iOS is called the severity level, right? Now, you think it'd be the other way around, like the highest, worst thing can happen is level 7. No, the worst things, if you see a level 0 in your syslog messages, like it's bad. You probably couldn't even log into it, to be honest with you. It's very rare, but you'll see a level 0. You'll see you're more than likely to see 1, 2, or 3. But level 0 is really bad, like real bad. Anyways, then you have the mnemonic, which is a code that identifies the action reported. That's self-explanatory. That's right here. I've got it coded in green. And then the message check, which is just like a plain text description of the event. Here's an example of it right here. We have the facility. This has just one sub-facility right here. One facility right here. Link. We have a link. Well, what level? Level 3. What we said level 3 was? We said level 3 is error. So this is an error condition right here, right? So level 3 is an error condition. Then we have the mnemonic. This mnemonic is up, down. So this device either went up or down. That's just the mnemonic. Don't worry about that. Like I said, it can become out sometimes cryptic. That's when you look at the red message. This is more plain text of what happened right here in the red. Message text. Interface gigabit 01 changed to up. That tells you clearly in plain English what happened. We got gig 0 came up. That's it. And like I said, I'm pretty sure if you're studying for the CCNP, You've seen these messages before, but again, this is one of those topics, like I said, that draws a fine line between what level topic is this? Is this a CCNP topic? Is this a CCNA topic? Is this a CCNP topic? Or is this a CCIE topic? This pretty much one of those topics that falls in all of those levels. It just depends on how deep of a dive you want to go, I guess. So here's another example. We got a sub-facility or facility right here. Sub-facility is categorized in both right here. Sys, so it's system related. Level 5, we said a level 5 is what? What severity is that? Notice. So it's normal, but not significant conditions right here, right? Then we have the mnemonic, which is config. Some kind of configuration change was made here. And then we have in plain text right here. Okay, configured from console by, and that's the username, CWR2000 on VTY 0. So that tells you in plain text, somebody came on this device and made a change. And that's the IP address of, I believe, the device that they were probably, I'm not even sure. I believe that's the device that they did it from. So if y'all want, maybe that's another pop quiz. If you know what that IP address is right at the end, is that the device that that user made the change from? I doubt it's the device that he made the change to. But anyways, if you know the answer to that, put it in the comments below. Let's go ahead and fire up GNS3 and experiment with system message logging. As much as I blab y'all ear off today, yes, I think we are definitely going to separate these topics in maybe 4 videos. All right, so here's the lab we are going to be working with today. We got router Renee and router Eric. Again, shout out to Renee Molnar. You can go ahead and visit his website at gns3volt.com. He also has a website called networklessons.com where you are able to, he gives you pretty much tutorials for all the Cisco exams. And this is where you can download this lab. So this is a real simple lab. There we have router Renee, they're both sitting under 192.168.12.0 network. He's .1, he's .2. Let's go ahead and get right to it. This should be real easy. Step 1 says output from debug messages on router Eric, which is this guy right here, should be sent to the console, but limited to 3 messages per second. You can limit the size or the amount of messages that come at you per second, because you don't want them all coming at you at the same time, right? So you can, pretty much limit how fast they come to you. So we're going to go to global config mode, and most of these commands start with the word logging. And if you take a look at this here, you'll see the one we're looking for is rate limit, right? Set messages per second limit, not the queue size, not queue limit, not this one, but rate limit, right? So we're going to say logging rate limit. What options we have there? They said limited to 3 per second. We can do all console or messages per second. They said 3, and that should be it. Simple as that. Logging rate limit 3. Step 2. Step 2 says both routers have to save debugging messages to their buffers up to 4096 bytes. Again, this starts with logging, and you can see, we can scroll up some, we'll see that. Which one do you think it is? We want to pause it. We're back. It's buffered, right? Buffer size is how we can set the buffered logging parameters. And then after that, what do we need to do? So logging, buffered. What other options we have here? He said size up to 4096. You can choose the buffer size for which level, severity level, or the buffer size. And in this case, they want a buffer size, and the size was 4096 bytes. So we just do 4096 bytes. Simple as that. Now we can save as many messages, but they won't go over 4096 bytes. If we have more messages than that, I believe it'll truncate the earliest ones. So you'll just have the latest ones, if I'm not mistaken. So that is set to that. We can do a show log and see what we got so far. We have the informational level right now that's set to. So we haven't messed with that yet, but we did set the logging size, 4096 bytes. It says here, logging is enabled, but 0 messages. Oh, none are rate limited. That's what it is. So it doesn't look like we can show the rate limit size here, nor do we have a log yet. So it'll show you how many messages were rate limited, but that's about it. So let's go ahead and move on to step 3, which is messages on the console log should not interrupt any command output. That should be an easy one. I believe they wanted us to do one on Eric as well. The command actually is logging synchronous. Now, when I was thinking about this, I just did logging synchronous and realized, why is this not working? Hey, Logging synchronous. I know that command works. Well, I forgot you really need to know where are you trying to, put that command, right? So you need to figure that out first. Now, what does it do? It says here, messages on the console log should not interrupt any command output. Well, by default, iOS sends you console messages. It don't matter what you're doing, it's going to send it to you. You could be in the middle of typing some commands. If something happens, it'll interrupt your command and be like, hey, look, this happened. And you don't want that to happen all the time. It can be annoying. So let's say, for example, you were typing, right? And then, usually get that message when you exit. That's how we figure it out. We exit, right? And you're typing, and it interrupts you. See that? See how it interrupted me? I'll do it again and I'll show y'all. We go to global config mode. When you exit out of the config mode, it'll tell you, hey, something was just configured. And that's the syslog message that we were just talking about, right? There's the severity, there's the facility and sub-facility. The severity right here, which is 5, right? And there is the mnemonic. And then this is the plain text message right there, right? That's what happens when we do that. When we exit out of console, when we exit out of configuration mode, we get this default message here, right? But if you're in the middle of typing something and you get a syslog message, again, I'll show you again. Configure terminal, you're typing, right? You exit, right? And you're still typing. Let's get out of this. Exit. You're typing, boom, it interrupted you. And you're just like, what was I typing? Now I got to try. If you want to get rid of that, you do the logging synchronous command. But you got to know where you want to place that. You want to place it on the VTY line. You want to place that on a console. Right now, we're console the device. Virtually, we are. We do, we'll go to global config mode and go to line console 0. Now, you can do this on the VTY lines, but we're just doing it on a console. We're going to say logging synchronous, but let me show you what else we got. That's the only option right there, synchronized message output, and that's what we're trying to fix here. We do that right now. If we exit out and then type real quick so I can show y'all, we exit, type, and it doesn't break our typing. Notice we're still there. I'll show y'all again, right? Go to global config mode, terminal, and then we exit out. We're typing away. A syslog message comes in, it doesn't break our typing. Now, finally, and like I said, I'm real tired, so we'll have to break this up in a couple seconds, a couple videos. When you log in router Renee, so let's go ahead and console Renee, which we are, using Telnet, you should only see messages from level notifications and higher. What did we say the severity levels were again? Informational is level 6. Right? Level 6. He said higher. Does that mean we want level 6 and debugging? So does that mean we want to see informational and debugging? Probably not, because debugging sends you messages. You don't even have to type on your console and you'll get debugging messages. So they most likely mean level 6, and if you're looking at it numerically, level 6 and lower, right? So level 6 below will let you know some more important things. So more important than just informational. And that's probably what they mean. Remember, the numbers are kind of backwards. So, be careful when you get these kind of syslog kind of questions on your exam. So again, he said, only want to see messages from level notifications and higher using Telnet. So that means we need to go to the VTY lines, right? Configure terminal. Logging monitor. See that? Terminal line. That's how we set the terminal line. So logging monitor, logging severity level. I had to think about that one real quick. Severity level. He said informational or notifications and higher. So notifications is actually 5. He said not informational. So my bad. Notifications is level 5. It's best that you know these messages. These levels as well. So level 5 and higher, logging monitor 5, we do that. Now we ain't gonna see any messages above that, right? So if we exit out of this, we may see that one. This is a level 5, right? Now let's say we want to get rid of that every time we exit out of console, right? This is just for the last step. This is just a little bonus. We're gonna global config mode. We're gonna say logging monitor 4. Don't show me anything higher than 4, right? Now, if we exit out of console, right? Now, we're still getting that message. Terminal line. Yeah, terminal line. Oh, we're not on the we'd have to telnet. we'd have to tell them that. We can do login console. We can do login console and then set the level because we're consoled into the device, right? So this is what I can show y'all. Login console 4 is what I was trying to show y'all. Now, if we exit out of, we're not going to get that message again. Anyways, that is all I got for y'all today. I'm just a little tired today, so we're just going to have to break this section up. I hope you guys get some rest as well. If you want to go ahead and move on and study on the next topic, go ahead and do that. You know, you'll just be a day ahead of me. But anyways, we try to lab every day. You know, sometimes life happens. I got to get my daughter in a little bit, but it happens. That's my YouTube page. That's my Twitter handle. Go ahead and comment, like, subscribe to the network.